Well, hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. I'm Tom. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Michelle.
Hello.
So good to have you with us once again. We're recording this on Sunday, August 26th, 2018, just in case you're catching up with us later on in the future episodes, whenever you are listening to this. You found us today. You can find us in the future on SoundCloud and Stitcher. You can subscribe to us, and you'll know right when our podcast is out if you go to iTunes or Google Play Music. And please, if you get a chance, give us a quick review. Tell your friends about us. You know, really like to grow this Hyperion Adventure family as much as possible. Let others know that we are out there and that we'd love to have this family grow.
Right. We really appreciate everybody's feedback so far, and we love hearing from you, and we certainly appreciate the ideas and the feedback that you all share with us. So thank you.
Absolutely. You're all our Hyperion adventurers. Many of you right now are our OG Hyperion adventurers. And speaking of that, we're coming up on the deadline. Please, please, please get us your information. Just give us a shout and say, hey, I want to be an OG Hyperion adventurer. Let me know. They're cutting off the date on Friday, August 31st. That's it.
Why is that?
We have some special news coming up here in just a second. So please, please, please contact us wherever you are around the world or across the country. We want to know who you are. We're going to be sending you a little something. We need to know who you are. We may need to order something, so it may take a couple weeks to actually get it to you. But please let us know who you are so we can get this out there and we can know who are the people that started us off when we went from nothing to where we are now and where we're going to be hopefully in the future. So please contact us. You can reach us on Twitter at Hyperion Podcast, Facebook and Instagram at Hyperion Adventures Podcast. Email us. Please email us, HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com. And you can also find us on the web. You can leave us a comment there, HyperionAdventuresPodcast.com. Now, here is why we need you to get a hold of us before or by the 31st is because there's something coming up that we think is going to advance our audience, but we want to make sure we know these people that were with us from the beginning so we can, have you people that are really special to us. All our listeners are special, but those people that started us from nothing are really super special to us.
Right. And, like Tom said, we really want to recognize you and show you our love for the fact that you really did help us grow this podcast. And we really, really are very grateful for your support.
So here's the great news that we teased last week and now is coming up as of in September. So this is why we're cutting off the date on the 31st. In September, we are going to be teaming up with a local San Diego radio station. They're going to be promoting us. We're going to be promoting them a little bit. The station is 105.7 Max FM, San Diego's throwback station. They like what we do. And they're great. They play a lot of great 80s music. They like the kind of the same kind of vibe we have. So we've decided to kind of team up. We're going to be on their website, on their app, in their social media. And we really think that that's going to help push us out to a bunch of new listeners that we didn't have before and really grow this Hyperion Adventurer family into a larger one.
Right, and we're so excited that this relationship is going to be starting up, and we know that this is really going to propel us more and provide us more opportunity to bring you some even more special guests to our podcast. Absolutely,
that's what we look for. We're looking to grow this thing, have it be even bigger than it is now. So, yes, this is going to be a great team with Max 105.7 FM in San Diego's throwback station. So exciting. And we have another couple things that might possibly be in the works yet. Nothing finalized yet, but another couple things that may also help us grow a little bit. So that's awesome, and we're excited about it.
Right.
Yes. So on to our main topic of the day. As you may or may not know, we have a son with a disability. Our son is Scott is Down syndrome. So we have to deal with Disney with a disability.
Right.
So we understand what it's like. Well, another person that we saw an article from that we really enjoyed, well, he went to Disney with a visual disability.
Right.
And we were thinking about it, and seems like, you hear about autistic children, people in wheelchairs, people with Down syndrome, even the hearing impaired. You see some of the signers at some of the shows, but we don't really see what much people do with visual disabilities. So this article was really great. It called out to us, and we wanted to talk to him.
Right. And it, really inspired us, not only about this one individual and what they have achieved in their life, but also really recognizing the support that Disney and their wonderful cast members are in providing the most ultimate fun experience no matter what the situation is.
Absolutely. So let's not hesitate any longer. Here he is. Gray Hauser from the Monorail News wrote this great article. You can find him on Twitter at Gray Hauser or at Monorail News on Twitter. And please give him a follow. Check it out. We'll retweet this article. It's a really great article. And without further ado, Gray, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
And I have to say, I had to bring out the tissues in reading your story. It was amazing. And I was so very grateful that you took the time to really share that with us.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry if it, I'm grateful it touched you. I'm sorry if it,
No, it was in a very positive way.
Cheerful tears, happy
Yes,
tears.
yes, it was like
hear
great,
that Disney
great.
It was.
treats people so well at times. It's such. So, Gray, if you can give us a little backstory on yourself, you are legally blind, is that correct?
Right. So I was actually a micro-preemie. When I was born, I said, I really didn't have a chance to, or I wouldn't have a chance to see or walk or do any of the things that people can regularly do. But God was very good to me, and I can, walk and talk and, function, in a normal manner, and they didn't think that would be possible. The only thing that really was a lingering effect of being born as a micro-preemie and going through that is the visual impairment. I'm legally blind, but as I think you can tell from the article, I can see, but just not very well.
Yeah, so about how much can you see? Is it really tough to take in the parks? How do you go about it, going to the parks?
Right, so Disney's, of course, very great about offering accommodations. They have the DAS, and for example, if I'm going to see a show, like I went to go see the Finding Nemo musical at the Animal Kingdom.
Nice.
And
great show.
They're great about putting you literally like as close as they can get you to the stage. And that's very helpful because like in a day-to-day life, if I'm sitting in a class and if I'm, back in any distance, I can't see the chalkboard, see what someone's writing on a whiteboard, even if I'm in the front row, just to give you an idea. I can't see road signs and things like that.
Right. So when you first go into the parks, and just in case we have other listeners that have, that they either have the same situation or would like to inquire for a family member, what's the first step when you actually go into the park to start getting, some assistance or letting them know that, you could really, benefit from some other things that they could provide for you?
Right. So typically I would to the Magic Kingdom first. That's my first park I like to visit. But any guest relations location at the front of any park can help you with this. You just go to town hall or the guest relations office and inquire with a cast member, explain to them what your disability is, and they will set you up with the DAS, the Disability Assistant System, right?
I believe that's correct.
Yes.
And that it used to be a red card, and you could just show that red card to any cast member.
Right.
But now it's hooked into the Magic Band. So once you have that, if you have some form of anxiety or Down syndrome or something like that, something that makes it difficult for you to wait in a queue, you can inquire at the front of the attraction, and they will give you a return time, much like the old Fast Pass system.
Right. That's exactly what we use with our son.
Yes, that's I think a great service.
Sure.
But in regards to vision, if you need to be placed, closer at a show, you just inform the attendant at the entrance to the attraction, and they'll get an usher to escort you to like a visual impairment or hearing impairment section of the theater.
Nice.
So obviously that's a great help to you, being able to be put closer to these shows where you can possibly take them in a little bit better. But there are some other services they provide to you as well. I mean, I know you mentioned something in the article about you being led around the Haunted Mansion with a flashlight to help you see. Are there other things that they do as well?
Yes, I wasn't even aware that they actually would offer that. But if you speak with the attendant out front, they brought out their manager, Grant, and he was able to let me go through with a flashlight. And to make sure the experience isn't ruined for other guests, they hold cars in front of you and behind you. So being in with a flashlight, won't affect other guests' enjoyment of the attraction and the set and the atmosphere that's created.
Yeah, that's really great. We're really happy to see that these Disney cast members step forward and really help you out. Now, from what you said in the article, you had even some more important help from the Disney cast members. You had a little bit of a slight emergency happen while you were out visiting the parks.
Yes, I just had blurred vision. I would call it like enhanced blurred vision, but my vision was just blurry. And I actually had a vitreous hemorrhage, so blood fills the inside of the eye, and the blood actually blocked my vision in my left eye. So it was like as if you were completely blind in one eye.
That's scary.
And that happened to me while I was eating at Tiffin.
Oh, my goodness.
No.
Great food.
Yeah.
Horrifying experience.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's not supposed to come along with the meal.
No. I have to go back again and experience it without the horrifying
Absolutely.
visual loss. But when I got back to the hotel the next morning, I had to rebook because we had the Rivers of Light package, and we had to leave the park before we were able to utilize that because of the issue. And they were very helpful in getting us rebooked for a night later in our trip. And they offered. I was speaking with my eye doctor at home about next steps. They offered to take me to a specialist to get me the help that I needed. And I thought that was went above and beyond.
Right.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. We love it when you hear stories of cast members really taking initiative and really helping out people visit, especially in times where, it's your vacation, but things happen. Everybody runs into some issues there and there, and it's good to know that they will take steps forward to really help people out. And that it sounds like you still had a good vacation despite that.
Yes.
And so have you been enjoying the other parks as well?
Yes, so actually, because I'm not a quitter, I was determined to finish my vacation. So I went around the parks with really further impaired vision.
Wow.
For the rest of the week.
Oh my goodness! How early in your trip did this happen?
This happened, I want to say, on Tuesday, and we didn't leave until Saturday.
Oh,
wow.
So that was a good. Were you there for about a week? So that was
for about a week.
Good 2/3 of your trip where you couldn't see out of one eye, correct?
Yes.
Wow. Well, it's great that you were still able to enjoy it despite that, and that they took these steps and they can help you out. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that even may see even less and have less vision than you do, and really struggle through it. But it sounds like they really help people out and can really people can still enjoy their trip despite having this issue.
Absolutely, and I think that really is what sets them apart from other entertainment venues.
Right.
You go to a baseball game. They're not going to do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You go to a Six Flags, they're not going to do anything for you.
Right.
Universal will maybe do something for you, but no one is up there in accommodating you as Disney is.
That's so great. That's so great. We really appreciate what they've done for you, and it's good to hear for that. Do you have any other tips you'd like to give any listeners that may be in the same situation as yours, or maybe a little different, whether it be a hearing impairment or autistic or whatever the case may be?
Yes, I would just say that never be afraid to ask, because that's something that most people don't like to impose or don't like to speak up, because it's a little awkward talking about something that's wrong with you. You might feel like you are being selfish or are asking for something. You don't want to come off as thinking you deserve something, and they're going to help you, however they can, and it never hurts to ask.
That's so great. Well, we really appreciate that. That is true. I think that's the most important thing, communication, really getting out there and telling people what you need, how they can, and having them help you. That's the most important thing. If you just go in there and try and do these things on your own when there's people there to help you, that's really important.
Right. And again, we're really impressed with, your strength and your fortitude to, take on the challenges, and we're hoping now this information can help other people as well.
And by the way, it sounded like coming out of your article that you loved Disney almost even more after this trip where you had such difficulties than you did even before going in.
Yes, absolutely.
And I know you're excited to get back. Do you have your trips planned in the future?
Yes, I'm going to be going back in December or January.
Oh, are you going to be going back for around the holiday season or a little bit after that?
maybe a little bit after that, but I'm really hoping to get down during the Christmas season.
Yeah,
Right.
that'd be
Nice.
really great. That'd be really great. So, well, Gray, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it. Your story's fantastic. We're going to share it out there on social media so everybody else gets a chance to read it as well. If you want to find Gray on Twitter, he is at Gray Hauser. He works at Monorail News. You can find them also on Twitter. Give him a follow. Check him out. Cool stuff out there. And Gray, thanks again. Thanks for giving us your time on this Sunday and really sharing your story with us. Hopefully it helps some other people out there.
No, thank you for your time.
Really appreciate Gray Hauser joining us. Again, you can find him on Twitter at Gray Hauser or at Monorail News. Really was a great article, and he really had some interesting information there.
Yeah, very inspiring.
It's
person.
really very inspiring to see that he hasn't let this visual impairment hold him back from anything, and it's also great to hear how the Disney cast members really stepped up and seemed to help people who have troubles like him.
Right, exactly.
And
And
it's
so-
like it just proves that anybody can have a great time at Disney. That's what Disney is all about. They want everybody to have a wonderful vacation.
Right, and we want to echo what he mentioned in terms of going to asking, guest services or going to City Hall, and having a chat with the cast members there. And what they do is they really customize, what the needs for the experience will be. And so they're really warm and welcoming, and they listen to what your issues are, and they hook you up.
Right, absolutely they do. It's really great to hear, and like I said, it was great to hear that they stepped up, especially when he seemed to have an emergency, when that he lost sight in one of his eyes. He was already legally blind, but then he lost complete sight vision in one of his eyes. That's crazy. But anyway, if you have questions for Gray, like I said before, you can find him on Twitter at Gray Hauser. He may be able to help you out. If you have some questions, if it was somebody with a visual impairment and taking them to the parks, you can also always email us, of course, at hyperionadventurespodcast@gmail.com, and we can help you out as much as possible or try and point you in the right direction.
Right.
So that isn't our only topic of the week. We sold it before. A couple of weeks ago, we had an interview on. We've talked about it for weeks. This morning, we just got back. If we sound a little out of sorts, a little worn out, because it was an early morning out at the CHOC Walk, out at the Disneyland Resort, out at the park. And Michelle, you were out there, and it was a great time, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. And I just, was so impressed with how many people were there. It was insane amount of people. So that was great seeing so many families, so many corporate sponsors, really rising to this wonderful event. And Disney was truly an awesome host as well for this event. In addition to the many many characters that they had there, the cast members were really warm and cheering everyone on, and helping taking pictures for groups and individuals. So we've been on some Run Disney events. We've seen what they do in the parks, and they did not hold back on this event as well. So it was really, really a lot of fun. Obviously, saw a lot of many Pixar characters there during Pixar Fest.
Still Pixar Fest for another week.
So like
today.
Sully and Mike, Woody and Buzz, and then some of my favorites like Princess Ada. I also got to have a picture with the Green Men, and considering I was sporting green, we were the green team.
The green team, yes. So by the way, I tweeted out some pictures. If you want to go check them out, you can find us on our Twitter or on our Instagram and on our Facebook. I tweeted out some pictures of Michelle looking darling out there with so many characters. She got some great shots. She was awesome. It was awesome pictures.
Thank you. And, similarly in Disneyland Park, they had, a lot of the classics there, of characters like Pinocchio with Geppetto and Alice in Wonderland with the Mad Hatter.
They were on the teacups, right?
They were.
That
They
was
were
perfect place for them.
darling. They were darling. They were chatting as I was Tinkerbell there, I guess. But they were great, and it was always touching. Like one of the things that I saw was on the carousels that they had the princesses riding the carousels and playing "When You Wish Upon a Star."
Oh.
So very, very touching.
Always brings a tear.
That's right. That's right. So can't say enough about the experience. And I want to congratulate all the participants who were on that 5K walk today. And, really want to urge people, if you didn't get to do it this year, to really, consider it for next year's event.
Absolutely. And by the way, there's still fundraising. Even though the walk was done today, they still have a month more to raise their funds. So if you still want to sponsor somebody like Michelle, but anybody out there, you still can donate to the Children's Hospital of Orange County. You can go to chocwalk.org, and it'll point you in the right direction on how you can donate. But yes, great time. Really fun, and yeah, try and think about doing it next year because it really is a great event. So many great groups together, families, they all get dressed up together, their T-shirts, all as a team.
Right.
We're probably going to do an Hyperion Adventurer team next year, get a group of ourselves together. So if you want to be part of that, please let us know. But it's really fun, really great event. If you're a little afraid of the Run Disney events, maybe you're just not a runner, whatever. This is just a nice little casual walk through the parks in the morning. Really great. There's some great ticket discounts, hotel discounts that come along with it. As we talked about, if you want to go back to our podcast from a few weeks ago where we talked about it all, so many great events around it. Really is fun, and we can't recommend it enough.
Right. And, again, being for a really worthy cause, CHOC Walk was spectacular and is always something that, is important to us.
And we'll be looking forward to doing it again
next
year. All for a great cause.
Yes.
Children's Hospital of Orange County. Great cause. So that's it for our main topics of the week. On to our other Disney stories of the week. As you know, every week we like to go through the Disney stories that pop up in the news. There are so many Disney stories. We'll get to a few of them here. We're going to start with Disney has announced how they'll be celebrating Mickey Mouse's 90th birthday at the parks coming up here. This is all according to one of our favorite sources for news out there for Disney News. WDW News Today, you can find them on the web at wdwnt.com. We use them source a lot. They always have some great resources out there for what's coming up and kind of puts it all together for you, so it's an easy read. But you can always come with us, too, because, we'll also put it out there, whatever they put out. But we feel is important enough anyway. So here's how the parks will be celebrating Mickey Mouse's 90th birthday coming up. Shanghai Disney is going to be the first park to start really celebrating Mickey's birthday. They are going to have a brand new Mickey-themed float at the opening ceremony of the Shanghai Tourism Festival on September 15th. So just coming up a couple weeks from now to commemorate the Shanghai launch of the world's biggest mouse party.
Nice.
A giant birthday card will be installed next to Storyteller's statue featuring birthday wishes from Mickey's pals. And then from November 16th through the 18th, guests will enjoy themed food and merchandise offerings, as well as the opportunity to sing Happy Birthday to Mickey just before the nighttime spectacular show each evening, all culminating with a special nighttime birthday spectacular at Enchanted Storybook Castle on Mickey's birthday, which is November 18th.
That sounds like a blast.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
It really does.
Should we head out to Shanghai?
Let's check into it.
Yeah, see what the flights are. Walt Disney World Resort, a little closer to home, especially for many of you out there in the country. Not as close for us, but close for many of you. Walt Disney World Resort will celebrate Mickey's birthday from November 16th to the 18th with special merchandise and food and beverage items, as well as the chance for guests to celebrate at Magic Kingdom Park during the Move It, Shake It, Dance, and Play It street party. Sing Happy Birthday along with the Dapper Dans on Main Street.
Wow.
That'd be fun.
That will
and join in a special birthday dance party at Rocket Tower Plaza stage in Tomorrowland. Then in 2019, Walt Disney World continues celebrating when the world's biggest mouse party comes to the resort.
Nice.
So, if you don't need to, obviously the birthday is the big celebration is the November 16th to the 18th, but they're going to continue the fun on throughout the following year. Disneyland Resort. Now we're talking closer to us, where we were just moments ago. They'll host a celebration cavalcade for Mickey Mouse on his birthday, November 18th, featuring some of his special friends and the Disneyland Band. Starting at It's a Small World and pausing for a special moment at Sleeping Beauty Castle before continuing down Main Street, USA to Town Square. The party continues again, just like Walt Disney World Resort, when the world's biggest mouse party begins at Disneyland Resort in 2019. So it's good to hear they're doing that out here as well.
That's right.
Hong Kong Disneyland will begin its world's biggest mouse party activities on Mickey's birthday, November 18th, with commemorative park tickets, special food and beverage merchandise, a hotel room overlay, which is pretty cool. We Love Mickey projection show that will run through February 2019, and Hong Kong Disneyland guests will receive special birthday stickers available only on Mickey's birthday, November 18th.
Wow.
Yes.
Very cool.
Tokyo Disney, surprisingly, didn't give many details. They just said join the celebration this fall with special decorations and merchandise. So whatever that is.
Well, maybe they're holding off a big surprise.
Little secret there, Disneyland Tokyo. Disneyland Paris will celebrate the world's biggest mouse party this fall and into winter with a new holiday season entertainment and special surprises. Again, they're being a little mysterious over there at Disneyland Paris. Even Disney Cruise Line is getting into the fun. They're going to celebrate when they have the world's biggest mouse party on some of their sailings in 2019.
Wow.
So that's kind of fun as well. So lots of cool stuff going around in the parks and on the seas for Mickey's 90th birthday.
And if you can't make any of those, have your own party.
Yes. We'll have a party here. We'll celebrate around November.
Absolutely.
And we'll do a special celebration podcast episode for Mickey's 90th birthday
Nice.
party. Another Mickey's 90th birthday party interesting thing that's happening is there's going to be a pop-up art exhibit in New York City for Mickey's 90th birthday.
Doesn't that look cool?
It does. It looks really cool. I want to go.
I know.
It's called Mickey the True Original Exhibition, and it's opening on November 8th in New York City. It's a 16,000 square foot interactive experience which will feature a wide array of artwork from a collection of famous and up-and-coming artists, all inspired by Mickey being a true original. And it's one of the world's most, if not recognizable faces. I'm sorry, I'm reading straight from the article, and I'm just like, well, that didn't make a lot of sense, but okay. The exhibit will touch on his humble beginnings on a boat, from Steamboat Willie to his Technicolor shorts to his impact on today. It's really cool. Let me see. So it's going to be at 60 10th Avenue in New York City. Starts again on November 8th, 2018, and will run until February 10th. So you have a few months to go check this thing out. Tickets are available for $38 per person. So not bad.
No, bad. And like I said, it really looks fun.
Yeah, yeah. So really cool. Another cool way to celebrate Mickey's 90th birthday. The leader of the club that's made for you and me. Come on, finish it out. MICKEYMOUSE. That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. It brings a tear.
Yes, it does. It brings a tear for the wrong reason.
No, that was great. That was great. I couldn't sing, so I have to have her do it because she sings way better than I do. That won't stop me from singing, but I still sing terribly. Okay, on to some other Disney park stories. Of course, we know the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival kicks off this week. Walt Disney World Resort, and there are some cool bonuses for annual pass holders. So if you have a Walt Disney World Resort annual pass, there are some cool things that you get on top of going to this wonderful event. Again, the Wine and Food and Wine Festival runs from Thursday, August 30th to November 12th. Of course, it's great food, cooking lessons, all sorts of exhibitions, wine tasting, food tasting. So much stuff goes on. It's just really great.
There's something there for everybody.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, anything from just some small cooking demonstrations to celebrity chefs to giant, amazing dining experiences to little simple small plates. It really covers all the bases. It's really cool. If you haven't been, you should try and plan out making it. I think we're going to try and possibly go next year, even though we can't make it this year. They also do a food and wine festival in California, not quite as good, but at Disney California Disney California Adventure Park, they also do a food and wine festival. That's usually in around, I believe it's February, March kind of time like that. So a little bit smaller, but still cool as well. And I recommend you checking that one out too. Anyway, annual pass holder perks that they're going to get this year. Of course, there's the AP magnet that we've gotten in the past. That's always cool. This year, it's Mickey with a chef hat.
Nice.
So it's the classic Mickey logo you see on a lot of things, including the annual pass holders. Michelle's wearing an annual pass holder shirt as we speak, but he's got a chef hat. It looks cool.
Yeah.
If you visit the Food and Wine Festival 4 times as an annual pass holder, on your 4th visit, you get a cutting board with the same logo. It looks like a wood or bamboo cutting board. It looks pretty cool. On select Thursdays, there'll be early access for annual pass holders to Epcot from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. It'll be the first crack at pass holder exclusive merchandise, and you can purchase mimosas, always plus.
Nice.
That early in the morning.
Right.
Mimosa early on. Those dates are the first day, which is this Thursday, August 30th, September 20th, and October 18th. Just be known that although that's open, the attractions will not be open until 9 a.m., so you don't get any free access to any of the attractions. So.
Right, but you're already there. You've gone through security. You're ready to go.
Right. Plus, you got your shopping all done, so you're
your
good. Then you just
mimosa.
go, and you got your mimosa, so you can go right to the attractions. It's great. So, other park news: Walt Disney World's Swan Resort has announced a $3 million renovation project. Again, this is coming from WDW News today. Following the completion of the largest renovation in its history last fall, the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Resort is undergoing its next redesign project, a $3 million transformation of the Swans Resort's lobby and public spaces and coffee bar. So it looks like they're going to jazz it up a little bit. They really put in a lot of money. They did $150 million for a 3-year renovation that they just finished recently, but then now they're going to do up the Swan a little bit more in the lobby area to kind of keep it up to what they did with the rooms and everything else out there. So that's pretty cool. Big news for the Walt Disney Company is that they have offered to pay tuition for up to 80,000 hourly workers in the company.
That was impressive.
Yeah, really cool news out there. If you work for the Walt Disney Company, they're offering to pay full tuition for hourly workers who want to earn a college degree, finish a high school diploma, or learn a new skill. This could affect as many as 80,000 hourly workers in the United States who could be eligible for this program, which pays upfront tuition for employees taking online classes starting this fall. They plan to initially invest $50 million into what they call the Disney Aspire program, and then it'll be $25 million a year after that. So
it's nice that they can take classes that aren't necessarily associated with what their current role is.
Right.
So it gives a lot more flexibility for, a cast member to make a selection.
Yeah, and it's actually a nice step for Disney. I know that they've been, there's been some news out there, no matter what side you fall on it, about some their hourly wages for their workers and such. But this is a great step. One, they've upped the hourly wage, but now they're also providing this extra bonus for people that work out there that want to, take their life a step further, educationally wise.
Yeah, it's great. We're very, very pleased to hear that's happening.
Yes, very cool. Very cool. A couple movie notes real quickly out there. Frozen 2 has added an additional writer to help spruce up its screenplay. They're already recording a lot of the audio dialogue out there right now. The production is currently underway, but Jennifer Lee, who wrote the script, you may have heard, she's had to take on a little bit more work since she became the head of Walt Disney Animation Studios. So they've brought in Allison Schrader, who you may know, she was Oscar nominated for writing Hidden Figures, which was the story of the women that helped NASA. In the space race. So she's coming on to kind of just help with fill in a few cracks and some of the stuff that Jennifer. I mean, she's also directing the movie too. Not only is she heading up Walt Disney Animation Studios, writing this movie, she's also directing the movie. So just kind of a little somebody to kind of help out, just fill in a few things as they move along. And this movie, I believe, is scheduled to come out next year.
Nice and perfect person to be adding on to that project.
Absolutely.
I'm sure.
Big name.
Yes.
One more casting. We can't get away without some Star Wars news in this. Star Wars Episode 9 has added a familiar person that many may know, especially if you know J.J. Abrams' shows from the past. Dominic Monaghan is being added to the cast. You may remember him as Charlie from Lost, a J.J. Abrams show, or as Merry the Hobbit from the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He's being added, and it makes total sense because he knows J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams knows him. They've worked well together, and we've seen this already in the past casting announcement that, J.J. doesn't mind bringing in people he's worked with before, and they seem to enjoy working with him.
Right, and they are great actors. It's not like doing anything but the best there.
Right, absolutely. So we don't know what role he's going to play yet, as we don't know for many of these new characters or our new actors that they've brought on, but it will be exciting to see how this progresses. Yeah, so that's it for our news of the week. Quickly, we need to get to our tips of the week. If you haven't heard us before, we end every show that we do with our tips for the week, whether it be at the parks, whether it be on Disney Cruise Line, whether it be Run Disney, whether it be a Disney Vacation Club, whatever, anything to help you with your vacation. We'd love to hear your tips. By the way, if you have a special favorite tip, please email us. Let us know what it is. HyperionAdventuresPodcast@gmail.com. And we'd be happy to share that with our listeners if we like it and we give you full credit for it. We're not going to steal it from you. And by the way, I was mentioning this earlier. If you send us our information, we're not using that for anything else. We're not going to go and sell it off to a company and they're going to start spreading you a bunch of junk mail, spam mail. You're going to get a bunch of phone calls, more than you already get from, I don't know if you got this week, but the weekly IRS call that apparently we're in big trouble. That come every week. Maybe it's just me that gets that call.
No.
Anyway, let's get to our tips of the week. We do this every week, and every week we start ladies first with Michelle's tip of the week.
Well, thank you. So we know that many people have food sensitivities or allergies, and something that we discovered on the Disney Parks app is that they give you a lot of great information, but it may not be as obvious at first. So if you pull up on the app, say you're looking at Disneyland or Disney World in one of the parks, and you're looking at a menu, if you scroll down to the very, very bottom of the selection, so you go past even where it lists the beverages.
Past the kids' meals.
Right, all that. Then they list some meal selections there. And again, it's not just like, we can leave off a sauce or we can do something. It's actual other items, other menu items that are in consideration of different types of food allergies or food sensitivity, such as gluten, wheat, egg allergies, fish or shellfish, I should say. So want to make sure you take the time, if you do have a food sensitivity, to explore on the app the lower section, so that you don't miss out on some really great food that can take into consideration what type of food sensitivity or allergy you may have.
Absolutely. It's really great because it does list it by allergy. So the dishes that are on the menu above, as you scroll down, it'll give you what is fine to eat if you have a wheat allergy, if you have a soy allergy, if you have a tree nut allergy, whatever it may be. If you have one of those, they can either maybe change out a part of the dish, or they say this dish is perfectly fine if you have that allergy. They serve just as is.
Right. Some things they're swapping out a different thing that would, like if it's a gluten-free, they may swap out a different bread product or other types of things like that. So yeah, it's really wonderful. And again, you might not notice that if you're just looking at the food selection and going down, then you start seeing, like you said, the kids menu and the beverage and think, okay, that's it. So if you do have a food sensitivity or an allergy or anybody in your family, then make sure when you're looking at the menu item, you really take the time to scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah, and if you don't have the app or for whatever reason it's not with you at the time, just ask. Just ask the people at the counter. If they don't know, they'll go ask somebody else. But as we've already discussed in this episode is really important about people with different abilities, that maybe have some struggles at the park for whatever reason it may be. And allergies are definitely one of those things, or food sensitivities. The cast members there are really willing to help. They really want to see everybody have a great vacation. So just ask it's nice to see that it's right there in one place on the app for you. It really makes it convenient. So that's really great. And it's a great tip. As always from Michelle. She always has the best tips. Now on to my, second-rate tip here.
Sure.
My tip. I'm going to talk about, we've discussed earlier, we need to talk more about Disney Cruise Line. So I'm going to give a little more about Disney Cruise Line today. So I'm going to talk about your first day when you're getting on board the ship, some things to do to make your first day on board a ship, if you've never been on before, maybe you've been on, but, you just didn't quite have that great first day, how it can make it a little smoother for you as you board this ship, and how you can really enjoy it a little bit more. So the first thing I'm going to talk to you about is, and then this isn't even the first day, you'll start well in advance. And that is when your window opens, schedule your port arrival time for as early as possible. Now, if it's your very first cruise, you can schedule your arrival time 75 days in advance. If you've been on a cruise before, but not up to, I think it's 5 cruises, I think now to get gold. I can't remember. But Silver Castaway Club is 90 days. Gold is 105 days. Platinum and Concierge guests get 120 days out. You can schedule your arrival time. Schedule your arrival time for the earliest possible time that you can, because the earlier you get on board, the more you're going to start enjoying the fun sooner. I mean, really, and plus the crowds are going to be less on the ship, so you can really take advantage of the pool, get to the buffet earlier without as many lines. You can really get on board and really get into the meat of it and really enjoy it. So that's one way to get started well earlier. Another way to get started earlier is as you're checking in online, be sure and register for the Oceaneer Club and Lab during your online check-in. You can visit when you actually get to the port, to the terminal. You can then visit the check-in desk for kids' activities after you've checked in for the cruise. Since you did all the work online, you can pass by all those people that are filling out paperwork there and get your kids all ready to go. And that's handled before you even get on the ship. So that's done. You can zoom through that. You can also pre-book ahead of time your meet and greets with characters, excursions, tasting, character breakfasts, etc. If you take care of that all ahead of time, when you get on the ship, you're not rushing here, sending one family member here, one family member there, and one family member over here to try and handle all these things. If you handle all those things ahead of time, it makes your first day that much more smooth.
Definitely. And especially when you're traveling with kids and they're getting anxious and the vibe is really enthusiastic there at the port and everybody's all excited and can't wait to get on board. And so the more that you can have that work done ahead of time, then like you said, you're bypassing the line, you're bypassing, everybody standing around as you're filling out forms and everything. So great tip.
Yeah. So even more so, another thing, it seems simple, but it's also good. Download the Disney Cruise Line Navigator app ahead of time. Don't wait till you get to the port to download it. One, you get this great countdown clock so you can look at every day when you're suffering at work and it's like, only 27 more days till my cruise. Yay. So, it really is a nice little boost in everybody. The kids will enjoy it too. How many days do we have left?
Right.
Really fun. Once you connect to the ship's Wi-Fi, all the info for your sailing will be right there on your phone or your tablet, whatever you may have. And it helps you navigate while you're on. It does help you navigate. No pun intended there. And you also want to make sure you download it ahead of time because you don't want to do it in the port and use up either data or worse yet, connect to the ship's expensive Wi-Fi. Now, it's free for the Navigator app.
Right.
But if you get the internet package, it's not cheap, okay? And you'll use up that data really quickly. So you don't want to have to bother to do that just to get this Navigator app. Take care of it ahead of time. Have it ready to go. This is for people who are like me. If you're prone to seasickness, okay? I have seasickness, yet I've cruised. I'm a platinum cruiser. I'm platinum cruisers on multiple cruise lines, okay? It doesn't scare me away from cruising it, but there's one secret to it. One, if you do take a seasickness medicine, start taking it a couple days before you even get on the ship. It lets your system kind of adapt to it. It's kind of like, say, an allergy medicine or whatever. A lot of allergy medicines out there, you don't just take them right away and they start really acting on your allergy. You need to take them and they kind of need to be in your system for a couple days. The same with seasickness medicine. If you don't know, if you are concerned about what medicines you can take, of course, see your doctor. Be sure and see your doctor before you take any medicine. Let them, so you can be sure what you're doing is correct for your body and what your health is. But again, it's so helpful. So many people wait till they get on board, until they wait till they feel it. And then sometimes when you feel it, it's too late.
Right.
Start taking your medicine if you think you might have problems with it ahead of time. It will help your trip immensely. Here's one more tip as you're getting ready to board. Hey, wear your swimsuit either beneath your clothes or as your clothes when you're getting on board. That way you don't need to, go run to the bathroom, change, because you won't be able to get into your cabin right away. But then you can get right into the pool fast when you get on this. And you believe me, it's going to get crowded at the pool. You want to get in the pool as fast as you can. And more importantly, you can get on the aqueduct as early as you can. That's why part of the boarding early. And believe me, the lines for the aqueduct are going to be crazy many times during your cruise. If you can jump on that very first thing when you get on, you're ready to go, your swimsuit's on, you're on board early, you get on the aqueduct 2, 3, 4 times beforehand. Believe me,
check.
That's your first day is going to go great. Finally, one last thing when you first get on board the ship. As you walk on the ship, have your phone, have your camera ready, whatever. Videotape your first steps onto the ship, especially if it's your very first cruise. It is a magical experience to step aboard a Disney Cruise Line ship. And it's giving me chills right now.
I know. I'm like getting choked up. I'm like, I can't say anything now. It's great.
You walk on board. Should I give away the spoiler?
No.
What it is? Okay, I won't spoil it what it is. But believe me, your first steps on board the ship it is truly magic. And you need to take advantage of that. Videotape it. Add it part of your whatever you do for your to keepsake your vacation. but it really is a wonderful experience, and it's part of that stuff that Disney does, and Disney Cruise Line in particular does, to make sure your vacation starts off like perfect. Hey, you're on vacation. It's perfect.
That's right.
Oh, and then go to the party because,
Yes.
and then again, you're on vacation. So
Exactly.
enjoy it. So I won't give away that spoiler, but those of you who've been on, you know what I'm talking about. So
Right.
so that's it for this week. Thanks again for joining us for another episode of the Hyperion Adventures podcast. Thanks also to Gray Hauser from Monorail News. Again, you can find him at Gray Hauser or at Monorail News on Twitter. Really appreciate the input he gave us today and talking about those
Yes.
with a visual impairment. And it really is inspiring to hear his story. So.
Right. And we're really grateful that he took the time today, to spend with us so that we can share that as well. And, hopefully help other people out there who may have, any kind of issues going on, that when you go into Disney, you want to have just as much of a magical experience as everybody else around you.
Right. And we'll be tweeting out his article if you want to read it for yourself as well. So you can check that out. But you can also find it at his Twitter handle or at Monorail News. So next week, interesting week coming up here. We know this very well. It's coming up on the Disney Parks Moms Panel application process. They're looking for new applicants. That's all starting off, coming up here in a little over a week. And so we're going to talk about what the Disney Parks Mom Panel is, how they help people, and what the application process entails. See if maybe you might be someone who might want to give this a shot. I know some of you out there listening, I know you are giving it a shot, by the way, and we love all you guys.
Yes.
So
Best wishes.
Yes, best wishes, and we'll be cheering you on, believe me. Big time cheering you on, and we can't wait to see some of you make it through, and for those of you who just even give it a shot, make it go true. Go out there and give it your best, because it's fun. It's a fun process for sure.
That's right.
It's a fun process. So, by the way, next week we're going to be out of town over the weekend. We're going to a wedding. So our plan is to try and record the next podcast on Monday, on Labor Day. So if it's a day late, you'll know why. If you don't get an announcement that we have a new podcast on Sunday, it's because we're going to be out of town. We'll be coming back on Sunday, but we're going to record on Monday. So speaking of that, that's how you can find us if you are on iTunes or on Google Play Music. If you subscribe to us, no matter when our podcasts come out, you'll get a little announcement on your phone or device saying, hey, they've got a new podcast, so hey, let's go listen.
Right.
You can also find us on SoundCloud and Stitcher, of course. You can follow us on social media at Hyperion Podcast on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at Hyperion Adventures Podcast, on the web, HyperionAdventuresPodcast.com. And please, please, please email us again, August 31st, you OG Hyperion Adventurers. I need to hear from you. HyperionAdventuresPodcast at gmail.com.
What we should say here from the rest of you, because we know there's some others out there that haven't reached out to us yet.
Yes,
So.
we've heard from some of you. I want to hear from more of you. Please, please, please contact us. And if you're listening to this past the cutoff date, hey, we love you just the same.
That's
just because these people are called the OGs, you're our Hyperion Adventurers as well. We love our whole Hyperion Adventurer family, and we appreciate you every single day. I look on, I see a listen. I'm always amazed when we get more listens.
Yes,
it's amazing.
Really
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
It's fantastic. So thank you so much. And again, we'll be teaming up with 105.7 Max FM, San Diego's throwback station, coming up here pretty soon, and that's exciting for us. So thank you again for listening to the Hyperion Adventures podcast. We really appreciate all of you, and we're looking forward to talking with you again next week. Until that time, I'm Tom.
I'm Michelle.
And we hope that you have a magical week.
Bye.